kids, you ever feel like you got a monkey on your back following you around everywhere you go? Yes, like your mom or dad. Doesn't matter where you are, like where you work. Hey Anton, do your homework. Yes, yes, yes. Good boy, Anton. What? Or when you're eating. Hey Anton, clean up your plate after you. Ah. Or where you sleep. Hey Anton, make sure you clean up your room. Ah, stuff it in. I mean, really, all these rules, all these laws, law, what are they good for? When I was a kid, I used to love watching Batman, but my favourite episodes were the ones with a good villain, like the Penguin. Who's your greatest villain, your greatest outlaw? Is it a Western one, like Jesse James? Well, in Australia, in the short history of a European settlement, there's one outlaw that we love to think about, been painted in lots of abstract and iconic ways. And he was a bushranger. He went out into the bush, he had a gang, and he basically stole from people, robbed, and the police were out to get him. And to protect himself, he made up some armoury, some metal armoury to cover his body so that when the bullets came flying, as they inevitably did, he had some armour to protect himself out in the bush from the police who came looking for him and trying to bring him in to justice. Ned Kelly was his name, and the Ned Kelly gang was his gang. And Australians love Ned Kelly, and we like to think of ourselves as a bit of a Ned Kelly nation, a nation full of people who, like Ned Kelly, don't need authority, don't need government over us. We don't need rules and regulations. We don't need the government telling us what to do. We're quite capable of looking after ourselves. We don't like to vote, but it's compulsory. Unlike some nations where it's a voluntary thing, in Australia, voting is compulsory, so we kind of have to do it. We love being armchair critics of our governments, laughing at them, making jokes, making fun of them in the media. We're not very patriotic. Australians like to think of themselves as a bit of a Ned Kelly nation. People who snub authority, laugh at the teachers. Parents are party poopers. We've made not paying taxes a bit of a national sport. And so in Australia, authority is something to be tolerated, something to, it's a bit of a pain, a bit of a necessary thing, but we like to think of ourselves as above the rules and regulations, above our authorities, and above those who might rule over us. Until, of course, something big happens. Until, of course, a big event happens that threatens our way of life, threatens our very livelihood and our existence. Like a war, or in this case, a war where we're fighting something we can't really see, a virus, and the whole world is affected by it, not just Australia, and it's a scary time. And right there and then, we call out to our government. What are you going to do about it? Save us. Help us fight this. Save our economy. Save our lives. And suddenly the nation of outlaws, the nation of Ned Kellys, are looking to the government and looking for them to save and act. And act they did. The government stood up. And the government made rules and regulations very quickly to protect society in Australia as we know it. They made laws about staying home and working from home, not travelling on public transport, avoiding contact with people, like many other nations did around the world. But Australia, New Zealand, and Anton, Slovakia acted very quickly. And the people, what do you know, listened. They trusted the government and they obeyed. The nation of outlaws, Australians, the green and gold, listened and paid attention and discovered that submitting to authority is not such a dirty word after all. We stayed home from school. We worked at home. We didn't travel. We kept our distance. And we listened to all the laws
that the government made to protect us, because they were there for our benefit after all, weren't they? And that's one of the reasons Australia is in better shape than some other nations. And so too, as I mentioned, New Zealand, Slovakia, Anton, Slovakia, because they've acted quickly and the people have trusted and obeyed. They've realised that governments are good for something, bring us all together, protecting us in times of great stress. But of course, we can't always stop all the chaos. And one day we all do die, and no government, no ruler, no wise person can save us from that. And we die because we're all rebels at heart. We're all rebels who have broken God's laws, who have not submitted to his authority, his rules, his regulations that founded the world. We've ignored and turned and gone our own way. The Bible says we're not righteous, not one of us. We're all outlaws. And we deserve God's punishment, but God is kind. So kind that he has sent his one and only Son into the world to become the law for us, to absorb the Lord's requirements that we failed to do, and to pay for us all. That the one who is righteous became the outlaw for all of us, so that the nation and world of outlaws at heart could become righteous and could be forgiven by God. All we need to do now is to trust and obey in God's authority. Trust and obey in Jesus, for there's no other way. Listen up, boys and girls. God's law made the world, raised the land from the deep day and night, so we can't sleep. Set the earth upon its feet. Pay attention to its beat. Yeah, pay attention to its beat. I got a verse for you. Psalm 119, 105 beats. Pay attention to its beat. Your word is a something for my, what is it? For my, let's go. Where is it? Yeah, for my feet. Your word is a something for my feet. What is it? From Psalm 119, verse 105. It backs it up, contains us all, protects us all. Let's get it in there. What we got here, the first letter from Skeeto to you today, from the good word. That's it. All right. Next one. Listen up, boys and girls. God's law, yeah, made the world, raised the land, or from the deep day and night, so we can sleep. Set the earth upon its feet. Pay attention, yeah, to its beat. Pay attention to its beat. We gotta all pay attention to its beat, because God's law is a, what is it? It is a L-I-G-H. Can you see it? T. God's law is a light to my feet. It's a light to our feet. Illuminates the path wherever we go. Keeps us safe in the world the way we should know. Pay attention to the feet. Pay attention to the word, to God's law and its speed. God's law sets a limit for us to thrive in it. God's law sets a limit for us to thrive in it. Shine a light for my feet. Shine a light for my street. God's law sets a limit for us to thrive in it. God's law sets a limit for us to thrive in it. Listen up, every boy and girl. God's law, his light, illuminates the world. Hey, boys and girls, come on the bushwalk with me. Yes.
We're going to find all the things in Australia. Beautiful trees, the birds, can you hear them? Come on, I've got something very special to show you. Going on the walk with Anton. I'm not so sure about this thing. What is this big sticky thing, huh? We need a light. We need something to help us find our way.
Anton is lost.
No, we're not. Anton brought the map, huh?
Where are we now? Where are we now? Quick, Anton, find the way.
Wait a minute. Upside down? Oh. Why don't they put "you are here" on the map like in the supermarket, huh? In the bigger mall. That would help. Wait. Big sticky thing is this way. Which means we gotta go that way. Ah! See, you need a guide. You need a lamp. You need a map. For that, let's go. Sure, it's this way. This? No. Here it is. This is it. Yes, come on. Don't fall over. Be careful on the rocks, okay? Don't fall over. Right thing I want to show you. Ta-da! Oh yeah! What do you think, huh? It's beautiful. We need a map. We need a guide. We need a lamp for life. Don't get lost. Know where you are right now. Oh yeah! And where you going?